And I started seeing these emotions start to kind of really come out again. And so I found a therapist, and she diagnosed me with severe anxiety, depression, and PTSD. April 21st, 2021, I woke up in the morning, looked at myself in the mirror, and I was so numb. I didn't know who I was looking at in the mirror. And I had nothing left in the tank. And I was ready to end my life. At that moment, when that thought went through my head, I heard the word escape. And I think some people would look at that as like, there's your answer. You need to escape. What instantly went to my mind was escaping the noise of life, escaping the stimuli that's going on every single day, and really do some introspective work and reintroduce the identity that I thought I was and that I used to be, and bring it back and have a plan forward on how to take care of myself and my family, my business. So I took off to the Oregon coast on a solo retreat. I just knew my heart was yearning for just solitude and stillness and silence, and just escape for a bit. Came back completely changed individual. Showed up as the husband, the father, the son, the friend, and the business partner that everybody was wanting back again.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike Wood with B Coaching and Consulting, What Works Weekly. And I'm here with Kyle and Eli. Actually, why don't you guys tell them what you do?
Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we help people remove the noise, slow down, and live more intentionally and in the moment. And the way we've done that between ourselves for the last couple of years has been guiding individuals, high performers, on a self-guided solo retreat. And that is what we do today. And we love every second of it.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to add to that we do?
And we're authors is what
Yes.
we do. We write
Get
books,
outta here.
and we're speakers, and we just came out with a book called The Art of a Solo Retreat, a structured path to reclaiming clarity and purpose in a noisy world. Went #1 bestseller in 4 categories and top new release in 4 categories. And we're really proud of it. And we're getting amazing feedback, helping people have more of an accessibility to of structure around solo retreats. So really, really good. Pick it up on Amazon or anywhere you buy books.
So I've got a couple of friends that they will tell me, hey, you will not get a hold of me for the next 3 or 4 days. And this is why. And when I first heard it, I was like, you're out at strip clubs, you're gambling. I get it. And then they were like, no, this is my resets. And it was, the idea was just totally foreign to me. I couldn't relate to it. I didn't understand it. Fast forward years later, I think it's almost essential, especially for somebody that performs at a high level, that is always going, that feels like there's a ghost behind them, and they got to get better, and they got to get bigger, and they got to achieve more, blah, blah, blah. So how'd you guys get into this? And if you can break it down for somebody that goes, wow, this sounds interesting, but I have no idea what a solo retreat is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll kick off with starting with the answer of how we got into this. It actually started back in 2018, November 8th. I was living in Paradise, California, and I lost my home in the campfire.
Yeah.
My parents lost their home, lost my business, and unfortunately, the day before that, I also had a miscarriage. And so I was going through a lot of loss in my life. But as an entrepreneur, as someone that believes deeply in personal development and self-help, the first thing I knew I needed to do was be resilient and fight back, have a strong positive attitude, and just get moving as quick as possible to get my family back on their feet, get us a home. But what happens when you do that is the emotions become suppressed. And that's exactly what I did. All up until 2021, I started seeing these emotions start to kind of really come out again. And so I found a therapist, and she diagnosed me with severe anxiety, depression, and PTSD. So now that I had a label, I was like, okay, there's some things I need to deal with. But I wasn't really dealing with them. And April 21st, 2021, I woke up in the morning, looked at myself in the mirror, and I was so numb. I didn't know who I was looking at in the mirror. And I had nothing left in the tank. And I was ready to end my life. And at that moment, when that thought went through my head, I heard the word escape. And I think some people would look at that as like, there's your answer. You need to escape life. But what instantly went to my mind was escaping the noise of life, escaping the stimuli that's going on every single day, and really do some introspective work and reintroduce the identity that I thought I was and that I used to be, and bring it back and have a plan forward on how to take care of myself and my family, my business. So I took off to the Oregon coast on a solo retreat. didn't know what a solar retreat was at the time.
Right.
I just knew my heart was yearning for just solitude and stillness and silence and just escape for a bit. Came back completely changed individual. Showed up as the husband, the father, the son, the friend, and the business partner that everybody was wanting back again. And unfortunately, came back. Things started going well, but unfortunately, but fortunately, Eli
100%.
started going through some stuff. And thank God I went through what I went through so I could share with him.
Yeah. And again, just building on the why behind the program. When Kyle got back within a couple weeks of that, found out that I was being cheated on for the last 6 months in my own home. And that ended the marriage. And then we almost lost the business that we had. We had to lay everybody off in a single day. And then I lost my great uncle, all within this short period of 2 weeks, all just came crumbling down. And there was a lot of thought, like, is it me? Like, that question keeps coming up, especially in high performing individuals. Like, that's the question that kept coming up in my head. And so Kyle said, hey man, go escape, remove the noise, go on this thing that we're going to call a solo retreat, take these journal prompts. And I did the deep work to find clarity and purpose again, came back again, very, very changed, like transformationally different. And that planted the seed to what we call now a solo retreat back in 2021. And that has been the evolution of what we do today. So, yeah, I think that's a really good backstory into the why.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you guys use the acronym RESET, and
Yep.
the word reset hit my mind when you were telling your stories, because your stories, tons of gravity to them, and it gets you to a place where, and Kyle said it, you get to the place where I'm playing a character in a game, and I've gotten to the part of the level where if I were sitting on a PlayStation 5, I would probably just turn the thing off and go,
Yeah.
It's a really good metaphor.
And I think that's what people do. And what I've seen over the last, especially since COVID, so now we're 5 years into it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing in particular men that are the breadwinners of the family, that have kids, that have a spouse. Most of the time, I don't know the backstory of what's going on, but from what you see on the outside, they appear to be, successful. They appear to be, heck, we could even talk about stars. We could talk about, big name guys that, Anthony Bourdain. I mean, you're like, oh yeah. They have everything from an outsider looking in, and yet they decide they don't want to be the character anymore. They want to go on to the next level, whatever the next level is. But the next level is definitely less painful than what today's level is. So when I go, I just want to reset. I mean, I want to reset the character. I want to reset the level. But you guys actually use that word as an acronym. Would you be okay going into kind of what that is?
For sure.
Absolutely. And that is really the framework behind the book that we wrote. But it's really, like we keep talking about it, it's built on experience. What did Kyle and I do? We just put that together in a digestible acronym. So kicking it off, I mean, it is the word reset. And the very first part of it is the R, and that is remove the noise, which, depending on who you're thinking about or who you're talking to, at least for me, that is the most important thing for high performers, people that cannot shut off. They're constantly plugged into their phone. They're looking at emails and Slacks the first moment that they open up or wake up. And that individual, when they look at the framework, remove the noise is the number one thing to kick things off and getting them down that path of feeling reset.
E.
Yeah, should have bounced back. Yeah, should have looked at you.
So the next letter would be E, which is engage with the present. So after you remove the noise, let's really engage with that exact moment. What are you feeling? What are you hearing? What are the tastes and smells? And where are you in that exact moment? Feel your nervous system, but also recognize everything that you've been going through up until that exact moment. So really engaging with it, because that's something we don't do as high performers. Like Eli was saying, we keep going, because that numbness can feel really good, right? That momentum can feel good. But unfortunately, a lot of times we really replace momentum with just being stuck. It's like a hamster wheel. You're running as fast as you can, you're sprinting, but you're not moving forward. But when you take a step back and engage with what's going on, it's a powerful part of the reset framework.
So as we continue to walk through the framework, this is how the program goes. So when people go on a solo retreat with us, they follow this framework in real time. They're doing the actual work on their solo
Right.
retreat. So when we come to the letter S, that is see what's true. So that part in the solo retreat typically is around phase 2, day 2, where they're actually looking at limiting beliefs, things that are holding them back and making them in that hamster wheel. What are the rhythms and patterns that have kind of christened in their life that they need to help rewire? That also includes all of this emotional baggage that we help them unpack and actually see what is true. So that is the root of the S in the acronym.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
It is a lot of work.
I mean,
go ahead.
you can keep going, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm older than you guys. And I will tell you that I've been through enough to know that it's easy for me to shut my phone. It's not easy, but I'm the guy that wakes up at 3:30 in the morning because my brain's like, no, we got to get going. We got stuff we got to do, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then the
Absolutely.
phone's right there. So I totally get to shut out the outside noise. I understand, engage with the present, be here right now. The past is something that has happened. The future is a gift that you're given, but the present is exactly what it is. It's a present.
Yeah.
Now, those things I understand, but I've also been through rapport leadership, and I also know that the story I tell myself dictates how I see the world. And if I want to really change, going back and doing some deep work, which is exactly what this is not an easy thing to do. It's not I just reset everything. Oh, check. Because if it was that easy, we would all simply do it.
Yep.
So I don't mean to take away from us going through this.
No,
I just mean to say that this particular part is probably, unless you've got some bangers coming up in the E and the T, I would say this is the game changer for everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree, because that is when you're in the moment of the pain and looking at the limited beliefs that you forgot you had that's stopping you, and seeing the emotional baggage that you've been carrying for most people since childhood.
Oh yeah.
And once you start to unravel all of that, it is not easy. It's a very difficult thing to do. And so our solo retreat program, we don't tell people it's easy. We actually say it's probably one of the most difficult things you could do. But one thing we can offer you is a simplified path towards it, an uncomplicated way to just start working on yourself introspectively. And one of our goals with this is to normalize a solo retreat, just like coaching and therapy is normal.
Totally.
We all should have moments of solitude and stillness and time with ourselves, just like when you go get a coach, or just like when you have a therapist. It should be very normalized, and it's starting to. You're starting to see more and more high-profile individuals coming out talking about their experiences in solitude. There's movies coming out about it, documentaries on it, and a lot of research coming on the power of it.
Yeah, love it.
So the next E is envision what's next. So as you go through this reset framework, you've removed the noise, you've engaged with the present, you've seen what's true. Now is the time you can start crafting. You can start saying, well, where is it that I want to head? Who do I want to be? What do I do with all this ugly crap that I just learned about myself? And how do I actually use it as fuel forward in life? And so we have some really cool prompts in there and activities, and it's kind of fun. It kind of puts you through, where do I want to be, and what's my purpose and alignment moving forward, and how do I make that as a kind of a North Star coming out of the retreat.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's really in alignment with what Kyle and I did. We talked about these really hard stories, but at the end of the day, we really went through envisioning what was next, using that as propellant, and it changed our life. So the T, the last thing we talk about is take aligned action. So now that you know what to do, your purpose, you have some values constructed behind some of this stuff, let's take aligned action. And we do that, and we help individuals through that, through a community of all these people around the world that have done solo retreats, and they're in this community. We do one-on-one support, really just accountability coaching. So they are going through this. They have all these ideas, and they know, and they have a clear path now, maybe for the first time in their life.
Right.
And the one thing is to actually take action on that and not just end up right where you were 2 weeks before going on the solo retreat.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most impactful things that I think our program has built.
Well, yeah, because I could see people doing it like Um, well, I mean, high performers tend to be the ones that attend 2-day seminars.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they get a nice branded notebook, and they watch a bunch of
Totally.
speakers, and they take some killer notes, and then they get
Yep.
all fired up like, "This is the
Oh
game
yeah.
changer," and then they post on social media like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh,
Yep.
I attended the
So
refuel my
true.
fire." And then
Yeah.
2 months later, you're like, "Dude, you're doing this. It doesn't change anything." So
Yep.
so what you're doing is you're lapping over the accountability with, "Hey, let's keep you." Go back to it takes 30 days to form a new habit,
Yep.
whatever it is. And you're talking about years, depending on their age, years and years and years worth of them telling themselves this is who they are and this is who their character is. And when this happens, this is how I react. So you're trying to unwind you're cutting new lanes for them. And then
Mhm.
you're coming back and saying, "Hey, are we still on track? Are we still on track?" Because people are going to screw up.
Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely.
They're gonna do it, and hopefully they learn grace through it, and they say, "Yeah, well, this is it. It's okay. It's not the end of the world." I love that part of it. What's the difference between um, because you guys have a place where people can come to,
Mhm.
right? So or they can get the book, they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the two?
In terms of
The book and the program?
Yeah.
yeah, so the program is going to be kind of, I would say, more of a do it for you style model.
Mm.
We're doing everything from doing the research, doing a lot of the pre-work before. So really getting deep with what does clarity actually mean to you? What if you had clarity? What if you had realignment around your purpose? And then we're pairing a location based on where they want to go, how far they want to go. What is the setting for them that they find peace? It could be the ocean. It could be the
Yeah.
mountains. Whatever that is, we book them that spot. And then we're curating the experience the entire way. If they pick up the book, the difference there is you can do kind of more of a do-it-yourself style model. You can go find a spot and go through the framework, but you're not getting kind of the nitty-gritty part of the workbooks, the guided nature and the structure behind it. You're getting a good
Right.
guide on how to do it, but you're not getting the actual program that changes people's lives, I would
It's
say.
also the book is also a great
Mm.
introduction to the power
Yes.
and art of solitude and stillness.
Yep.
There's
Mhm.
some great science behind it that we put in the book. There's some great stories. And so really it's an educational experience as well. So if you kind of have cold feet wanting to go full in, it's a great starting point to find some safety and to find that, oh, there is actual structure and proof
Yeah.
behind solitude and stillness.
Yeah.
And Mike, to one of your points earlier, and what Kyle mentioned about science in the book, in chapter 4, we talk a lot about this study, real quick, that was done by Popular Science, and they pooled this group of people, and they said you have two options: you can sit in solitude and in your own thoughts for 15 minutes, or you could administer a self shock. And
Okay.
70% of people did the shock, because they do not want to do the hard work to find the lasting clarity and actually
Yeah.
to sit with those own thoughts. So it is a hard thing for people to do. I kind of wanted to circle back to what you said, because it takes a breaking point, and we call it the drift. You're kind of drifting slowly, and then at some point you're going to come through a breaking point. Hopefully you won't get there. And the book kind of talks about, digging the well before you're thirsty. So being proactive and going on a solo retreat. But it was wild when we heard that study about 70% of people giving them this blasting shock on
Yeah.
their own.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can sit and the 15 minutes of stillness is used by a lot of coaches to get people to just, hey,
Mm-hmm.
go. I had somebody tell me a couple of weeks ago that, true happiness is found not by the acquisition of material items or you know, uh, being the top of the list or,
Yeah.
any of those things. True happiness is when you can sit peacefully by yourself with no external stimulation, and
Yep.
you're just okay with you. Um,
Exactly.
but that's a lot of people introduce or they have introduced over the last X number of years of their lives external dopamine releases that come in the form of vices. So gambling's really big right now,
Mm-hmm.
especially with younger
Mm-hmm.
kids
Mm.
on and it's easier because they can download sports apps that allow them to bet This guy's not going to get 4 more rushing yards. All of that, and our society is very much set up to enable those kinds of behaviors
So true.
to allow you to escape what's really going on in your life. And what I've found is a walk in nature, um, just being still. I'm trying to get into meditation to just kind of sit and calm the mind. It's extremely difficult.
Yep.
Um, but we're also in a society where technology is all around us. And
Yeah.
there's a reason that Apple wants the phone to either go zzz, zzz, or bing,
Yep.
bing, because there's a simple dopamine release that goes to it. So I love all of those things. But what you guys are saying is you don't have like a camp where people come down and they go through the thing. You're saying, hey, if you want to do this, we'll help you. You'll work almost like a concierge
Yeah.
and tell me how. Like for me, Lake Tahoe is 25 minutes away.
Yep.
Mind blowing.
Golden. Yeah.
Go
Amazing.
there, do these things, spend this much time. Is there a couples version of it?
It's in the works. We've had a lot of feedback on that, and the way that we've done a couple of them in the past is helping them rent a cool location that's usually a little bit larger. They can separate throughout the day and go
That's a good
through
way
the
to
different workbooks, and then we provide debrief kits so they can get together in the evenings and talk through what they went through. And then when they come back, we're doing the normal debrief style and letting them talk through that stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
neat. What
Yeah.
kind of what kind of with the people that have done it? What kind of changes have you seen as a recurring theme over time? That somebody listening to this might say, "Oh shit, that's me." Like you're talking the before, that's
Yeah.
me, and I want
Yep.
to be the after.
It's complete identity shifts is
Yeah.
what it is at the end of the day. Everybody has their own story. Some people notice that they had a toxic job for 18 years and that's what's destroying them mentally and they leave the job. Some people find out, oh, wow, I'm actually an addict and I'm an alcoholic and I didn't realize it. That's what my identity was. Some people find that they are actually traumatized and don't have trust in people because of something happened when they were a child from their father. I mean, the list goes on, but at the end of the day, people are finding limited beliefs that they didn't realize were the underlying reason why they do something, they don't do something, or why they're not moving forward.
Yeah.
And typically those are shifted with identities that we think who we are and the way that we live and breathe. And because we've been telling ourselves and society's been telling ourselves these specific things for years, if not decades. And in reality, we can shift that as fast as we want to. But you have to have that moment of realization. And that's what happens on the solo retreats.
Right.
I wanted to kind of reverse a little bit and talk a little bit about those 15 minutes of solitude.
Yeah.
What's so difficult about 15 minutes of solitude is because it doesn't feel productive, especially to high performers. We sit there and say, I'm going to get the answer of not working for 15 minutes within that 15 minutes. And we're like, that's a waste of time. And so that is the psyche that we have is if we're not sitting there banging keyboards on Zoom calls, if we're not listening to a podcast while we're taking a walk to take a break and actually turn off, it seems like it's a waste of time and we're not productive. I mean, we talked to everybody and we asked them, when was the last time you went for a walk without something in your ears, or you were driving to the office or somewhere else without having the radio cranked up, or in the shower and you've got a pot, all these different things. And it's because we don't want to feel like we're getting behind. But if you actually just, and that's why it's only 15 minutes. And that's why so many coaches out there and therapists and hypnosis, they use 15 minutes because it's that quick on how much of a change, not just mentally, but physically, that your nervous system, and you'll feel it within minutes. Right. Within minutes, you'll feel the change. So I just wanted to bring that because it's just an excuse. And excuses are just lies that we come up with to ourselves. That's all it is. And the productivity factor of all of it is really the hardest thing that people can't get through when it comes to giving themselves permission to actually experience a few days in solitude. Right?
Sure. Well, that's where their identity is based around I am successful because I seize every opportunity because I'm, it's the grind, the grind. I mean, that's what it is. There's a whole culture based around I'm up at 4:15. I do 40 push-ups. I do 60 sit-ups. I eat 4 egg whites. I take a cold plunge for,
So true,
oh,
man.
I'm going to crush it. And I'm like, God, how big is the hole in your soul that you're trying to fill? I mean, shit,
It's true.
how many times are you going to be top producer and go home and cry?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Sorry.
It's really good to look at. I mean, it's true.
I love it.
Well, it's
man.
funny because
That's
a lot of
great.
times when we're getting people prepared for the retreat, they instantly start thinking of like the agenda. All right,
Mhm.
what time should I get up? Is it 6 a.m.? When should I get started? What should I be cooking? Am I going to have time for this? It's like, dude, this is what we're telling you is not to
Not
think
healthy.
like that. Just slow down, right?
got-
And we're so afraid of slowing down. But that's just because that's how we're brought up now.
I got a-
Everything is high speed.
I got a buddy that has when you go to the alarm section on your phone, he literally has 20 alarms set for the day. And I tell him, I go, he goes, everything's scheduled, everything's calendared, it's all. And I go, dude, that gives me anxiety. Just and he's like, what? And he doesn't get that part of it.
Yeah.
Gives
but
them comfort.
I've shifted from, because I wasn't the exact same way, but I was what did I accomplish today that makes me feel like, hey, you're moving forward. But it was always business and money. That was all it is. It wasn't
Yeah.
family. It wasn't, and much to the sacrifice of my relationships with my friends, with my kids, with my wife at times, because I was chasing deals, I was chasing status, I was chasing bank accounts. And then the bank account got to where I wanted it to be. And this is a few years ago. And since this time, I've kind of done a lot of this work, but I'm still buying the book and I'm still going to do the thing. But you go, well, what was this all for? Like the nice car doesn't fill the hole.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the hole was. So I was chasing the wrong thing. But what you guys are saying is, hey, just take a step back, dude. Because
Yep.
at the end of the day, we're all gonna leave this level at some point in time. We don't know when it's gonna be, but we may as well be as impactful to our authentic self, and we may as well achieve what we can achieve that is in alignment with our authentic self, rather than playing a character that we're miserable playing.
All right.
And it's funny because I see a lot of influencers that have built really good businesses around feeding back into the like the alpha male, and I'm not talking smack, so I don't need people giving me a hard time afterwards. I'm not going to walk into a bar and have guys go, oh, there's the most masculine man I've ever seen. Half the time they're like, are you gay or I'm like, no, I love gay people, but it's not my thing. I mean, so I'm not the most masculine of men anyway, but sometimes I feel that those guys, the hard chargers, the alphas, the ones that are going to pay 20 grand to get yelled at by another guy, are the ones that need this kind of stuff the most. Because if you go through something like this, and
Such a good point.
it once you become okay with you, then everything else just kind of goes away. And the true flex in life, I think, is freedom and authenticity.
100%.
And
Couldn't agree more.
Simon Sinek said it a couple of days ago. He said we are here to serve others, and that's all I really want to do, which is why we're doing this podcast. But if somebody wanted to reach out to you guys and either grab the book, or they said, man, what you guys said really resonated with me, I'd like to learn more, what's the easiest way for them to learn more?
Definitely go to our website, soloretreat.co, and hit the button. What the link is what our call to action on our website is a free custom solo retreat plan. So Eli will jump on a phone call with you. We'll have our team start to look at locations for you, but really help you understand and having intention around wanting to step into a solo retreat. And the other place is just going on Amazon, type in The Art of a Solo Retreat. You can just type in solo retreat on Amazon. We pop up number one, and pick up a book.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So whether it's hardcover, softcover, we have a Kindle version. The Audible comes out pretty soon. But just pick it up, give it a read. We wrote this book so it's an easy read. We didn't want to write some thick 500-page book that is complicated to understand. We wrote something that is easy, that's presentable, and that you can take quick action, and you can honestly read in a couple sittings.
Yep.
So definitely check out the book.
Okay. So go to the website. If you're not interested in actually going, but you want more information, go to Amazon, grab the book. About this, most people don't talk about this next part, but I'm going to hit it really quick before I let you go. How much money would somebody be looking at spending on doing a solo retreat and having you guys set it up?
The average cost lands between, and the range happens, it depends on where they go, when they go, and how long they go. Like those
Yeah,
are the three levers that we have.
totally.
So typically between 2,500 and 4,500, right in that ballpark,
Yeah.
is typically what it's going to land. That includes us booking the spot and the actual program. And that program is,
And accountability coaching.
that includes,
Oh.
that includes the pre-call and then the post debrief call. And then if we wanted to talk about further coaching past that, that would be a separate thing.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, if somebody has a gambling addiction,
Oh, yeah.
they could pay for this trip within a week or so.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Yep. That's, yeah,
So
exactly.
I just tell real estate agents, hey, if I coach you and you can get one extra deal within the first 3 months, you've paid for 2 years worth of coaching. So I
For
mean,
sure.
it's kind of a no brainer. So
It is.
it appeals to high producers. Is there anything that we may not have touched on that you think is germane or important? I love the word germane. That's my
It's a good word.
That
Yeah.
was,
I don't think I've heard
no,
that one.
I think, the last thing that we've said a ton is thinking about stillness as a strategy for high performers. Like leverage stillness as a strategy, and clarity doesn't happen by accident. It can be crafted, and you just need a little structure to find that clarity.
I
So
love that. Yeah. I spend 5 to 10 minutes before I'll give you some insight. But when I wake up and I'm awake,
Mhm.
not out of bed, not eyes open, my eyes are still closed, but I'm conscious.
Mhm.
I like to spend 5 to 10 minutes and just go through what could I have done different yesterday? Is there anything I have left over from that I need to take care of today? And
Mhm.
then what is today going to look like? And I just kind of pregame it in my head.
Yep.
And what are the 2 or 3 things that I definitely have to do? And who are the 2 or 3 people that I definitely have to talk to?
Love it.
And then
good.
I get up and go. So yeah, I love
That's
stillness,
amazing.
but I used to not hate stillness. I used to get up, grab my phone, what's
Mhm.
going on in the world because it's so important. It's not important. So
Nope.
cool. Well, I
Amazing.
I appreciate your guys' time. I hope that somebody listening hears what you have to say. It resonates with them. And just like me, I hope we change some lives. So I
Heck
appreciate it.
yeah.
Let's do it, Mike. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much,
man.
Thank
Mike.
you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, man. You too.